guys, this is Vince Bustos for ABS-CBN Sports and we are in the house. For today, makakausap natin ang the man behind Ateneo's championship run, UAAP Season 85 championship run. Walang iba kundi si Coach Tab Baldwin. And here is this interview. Alright, right now on In the House, right here in ABS-CBN Sports, we have Coach Tab Baldwin of the Ateneo Blue Eagles, champion coach once again now for season 85. Coach Tab, just to kick off the discussion, kindly describe your run. If you would get to summarize that in a couple of points, your run in season 85.
I mean, obviously, if you're on the outside looking in, you see that it was a bit patchy in the first round, our performances. We had some losses, big loss to LaSalle, and then lost to UP. And then we got into the second round. And, obviously, after, more games under our belt, we're starting to play better. But NU game was really tough. And, they proved their worth in this season and how strong they were, and they gave us a pretty good touch-up in that game. It set us up for kind of having the right mentality coming into the UP game in the second round, and getting that win was a big boost for the team, big boost for our confidence. Just knowing that the defending champions, which are a very good team, but they'd had their ups and downs during the season as well. And then we didn't look great against FEU, but we kind of finished the season pretty strong with our game against Adamson, and then of course the semifinal against Adamson, and we had maybe our best game of the season. Coming into the finals, we knew it would be really tough, and I had a lot of players that were new to the finals, and they were anxious, nervous, and I think the first game UP had a great start. Of course, a great game two, and that really set up game three, which was always going to be a battle royale, if you will. And I think that we had a great start in that game, and then we just held on. We already knew that Goldwyn and his coaching staff are good at making adjustments. They're good at changing things up, but a lot of that is just on the surface, like. When you play a season as a basketball team, you develop a character. So for us, it was really about anticipating that there might be some cosmetic changes to what UP was doing, and there were. But those are really more, and we were doing the same thing. And those are really to sort of disguise as much as you can what the true essence of your performance is going to be. But at the end of the day, we all come back to the norm after you've played a full season. We just had to be ready to beat UP at their best. And of course, the loss of Xavier means they couldn't be at their very best. And they had to make some adjustments to that. And because that really thinned out their front line, we could, to a degree, anticipate sort of the combinations they were going to have to go with because there were fewer. And that helped us. I'm not going to be one of those guys that say, with or without Lucero, it would be the same game. I don't think so. That was really bad fortune for them and good fortune for us. But that's sport, and that's what Zabe said to me after the game. He said, look, this is sport. This is what happens. And it's true. So we were the beneficiary of that. Fortunately, we did enough to get the win.
Yeah, that's true. It's like breaks up the game, and if you were to speak on a general note, I mean, that could happen to anybody. That could happen to any team, and that was the breaks. That was the cards that was dealt in that series. Coach Tab, in a way, for at least from my observation, maybe some observation, in a way, the big third quarter run defensively for Ateneo was kind of similar to what we saw in Game 3. What was the game plan throughout that series, that game, and how were you able to execute the things that you wanted to execute?
That third quarter strength that we showed throughout the season was certainly not by design, but it was so obvious. When you look at the numbers and you look at the data, there must be something going on, but it wasn't something that we counted on. And in Game 3, UP ended up with a better third quarter than we did. At that point in the game, we had a healthy lead, and they were playing, with a bit of desperation. And looking back on the game, I don't think they felt they could kind of pace themselves and leave their run until the end. Even though it sort of worked out that way, they really threw a lot at us in the third quarter, and they came at us really hard, and we expected that. But we kind of held the line, and we didn't win in the quarter, but we didn't give up the advantage that we had developed in the first half. So we went into the fourth quarter still with a cushion, but nothing safe. We still had to play even basketball with them, and then that last little run they made on the back of Alarcon's couple of great plays that he made. It really made things tense.
Coach, jumping off from what you said, holding the line. What is it in your team that made you hold it? To stay the course.
Miggs, I don't think that's formulaic in this instance. It was really just trying to play possession by possession, staying on message with, don't have letdowns on defense. Don't let Carl get going. Don't let him get anything easy. Keep Malik off the boards. And we knew that Henry Galanato was going to feature offensively if they could get him the ball inside. And, we knew we had to get some fresh bodies out there at certain points. So there was always going to be, some bending, and you just hope that you didn't break. We hit big shots. Anj was, he was just a tower of strength. I thought Chris Kuhn did a great job. He was very aggressive. BJ hit a big shot, made free throws. Dave got a really important offensive rebound, put back. So it was one of those games where we just kept doing enough to keep us out of that, that 1-2 possession range where things get really tense. And by the time it got there was only sort of 20 seconds to go. So we really only needed to make one, good, smart play to preserve that lead. And of course, we were in that position last season, and we didn't. So I think there was some benefit of experience there from last season as well.
How sweet is it, Coach? Now, when it's all said and done, a couple of days after the championship, how would you describe it?
Every title has its own personality. I've gotten a little bit of flack for saying that we were underdogs and, we had the DNA of underdogs. That was absolutely true. People, unless they're with you day after day, they don't know the character of your team. They don't see what we needed to do to grow and mature. They don't see how far away from that we were. And so consequently, they don't see how much we did grow and mature. And that really is the personality of this particular championship, is this was a team that exceeded expectations. We were not the favorite this year. And of course, when Zave got hurt, that did even things up a lot, and that sort of changed the narrative in Game 3. But until that happened, clearly UP was the team to beat, and we were gonna have to get a tremendous performance to do that. And again, in hindsight, I think that we did, and I'm really proud of the fact that this team rose above what was expected of them and performed to the level that they did in order to win the championship.
Coach Tab, what are some of the maybe things that people don't normally see that are most valuable in this team,
So many people that are fans of the sport of basketball, they make a terrible mistake at evaluating performance of teams and the performance of players based on points. Think a little bit about rebounding, they may think a little bit about assists, but it doesn't really go beyond that. I guess those of us that are, mired in the depths of the data that we generate, we understand that's an extremely small part. When you look at a season where you ended up the regular season the number one team, and then you win the championship, and we played the bench, almost 35% of the minutes played. They had to do a lot of things right in order for us to be as successful as we were. It wasn't always point production, but their defense was solid. Their taking care of the basketball was solid. Their execution of offense, even if we didn't always get buckets at the end, they did their job. And then in the final game, there was a lot of growth there too. They ended up outscoring UP's bench. But much more than that, players like Gab Gomez, Chris Kuhn, Chu Daves, and Gio Chu, they played
Kitabis,
really,
coach. He was
old.
big. Kitabis was big.
Sean was really, really important. We did with Sean and BJ, we did to UP what they had done to us in other games, which is throw all of those high-pressure guards at Forsky to wear him down. And it worked, Forsky, just body, and it worked. Forsky suffered from cramps, and that's not because he's not in shape. That's because when you have to do all the ball handling, playmaking, and defend, it just takes a larger toll than it used to.
Coach Tab, for graduating players, I know that you don't like to think much far off the future yet, but if you are going to, just for conversation, Coach, the Ateneo future going to be like with 4 graduating players we have this morning?
I'm really pleased with our recruiting over the last probably 18 months, sort of from toward the end of the pandemic when things began to normalize, especially over in the States, if we could go over there and recruit. I'm excited about our front line next year. I'm excited about Kai's continued development. Joe Obasa is going to be a very exciting replacement of Anj. I mean, if you can say that anybody can replace Anj, which certainly not on the same level, but I think Joe is going to be, a force in the league. Gio Chu is just going to get better and better, as big men do as they mature. Matthew Caves, showed a lot this year. Mason Amos coming in on our front line. It's going to make our front line pretty deep, pretty dangerous, I think. And then, of course, Forsky, Gab Gomez, Chris Kuhn, Sean Catavis returning in the guard spots, and Paul Garcia is going to obviously grow and mature. And then we're going to get some talented recruits in. I think Andrew Bongo is going to really impress a lot of people next year.
Lastly, Coach Tab, if there's a message that you would like to say to the Ateneo community?
Not just the Ateneo community. I think, we draw the curtain on 2022, and it will be a year that goes down in history for many reasons. We crammed two UAAP seasons into it. You saw the historic rise of UP, and this year's final series was a great final series. It was a very rugged final series, but I'm not sure that you'll ever see another final series that had the drama of season 84. We obviously came out on the losing end of that, but, it was spectacular in every way. I think the UAAP are the real winners, the fans of basketball, and you're seeing, really the amateur level be very, very professional in the way that the players are playing at the top level and the way the coaching staffs are working. I'm really proud of the UAAP. I'm really proud to be a part of it. And, to do my part and for Ateneo to do its part. And, part of that is the ever-present support of Boss MVP and how he helps our program not just survive but prosper. The Ateneo alumni, which are steadfast in their support. But, all the schools, all the students, all the alumni, and, all the teams doing their part. So I'm just excited, for basketball. I think, season 86 is going to feel like a long time before it arrives. But when it does get here, it's going to be a great season. I think U is going to be a powerhouse. Watch for things happening at UST. Obviously, UP and Ateneo will come back, and Adamson is going to be strong as well. So I think top to bottom, UAAP is going to build on this season and be a tremendous season. So let's all get excited for next year. It's never too early to start.
All right, there you have it. Coach Tab Baldwin right here in the house on ABS-CBN Sports. Congratulations, Coach Tab and the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Thanks, Coach. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Coach. So that was Coach Tab Baldwin of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Thank you so much for joining us here on ABS-CBN Sports. We are in the house.